Forget software as a service. Today, we're talking about WAAS, a simple strategy I've been using for many years to put tons of money in my pocket without being a programmer, without having a bunch of money to start, and before I even knew what I was doing. And all of this was done before AI, as we know it today, was even thought of. So just imagine how much easier this business is today. More about that in just a minute. First, I want to talk to you about software as a service, SAAS, as they call it. This is a business model where you basically create a tool or software or something like that and supposedly make tons of money riding away into the sunset on the beach with Lamborghinis full of cash.
Lamborghini here. Lamborghini. My Lamborghini here.
Only there's a couple major problems with software as a service. One, in most cases, it's extremely expensive to implement. Two, you have to have the right idea and an audience. Three, in many times, it takes a while to launch. So while this might be a perfect business opportunity for people who already have money, like Russell Brunson, Alex Hormozy, or anyone else who already has a following, for the vast majority, you and me, it's actually very difficult to start. I mean, sure, the gurus can come out with a new software tomorrow because they have an audience. Take ClickFunnels, for example. It costs millions of dollars to build, years to create an audience, which for the vast majority of people trying to make money online, they go broke before they even started. And that is why, in today's live stream, I'm going to show you the simple WAAS method to getting traffic, making money, creating tools that are irresistible that you can give away for free and pocket tons of cash. Yeah, I've been doing this for over 20 years. And in today's video, we're going to be setting everything up live with AI. We're going to use ChatGPT, Claude, and Bolt.new to make simple little tools that people want so that you can get paid. And these simple tools work on one main principle. Think about these top sites for a minute. Facebook, Amazon, Netflix. What do they all have in common? Yeah, they all make billions of dollars. They're all basically hosted on a website, and they all have millions of users. And that tells us one thing. Control the audience and get rich. Because it doesn't matter what those sites are selling or offering, it's all about the audience. And if you're like so many other people online, you probably never purchased anything from Facebook directly, ever. Yet they're still making billions and billions of dollars. Why? Because they control the audience. And that is what WAAS is all about. So today, I'm going to show you exactly how to set up these simple little tools without any skills. Yep, we're going to make them live. And we're actually going to start backwards. I'm going to begin this training over at the live set showing you how to drive traffic to these tools first. Because if you can control the audience, well then, you can make money. Come on, let's hop over to the live set, and I'm going to show you everything, start to finish. All right, everyone, welcome to the show. Smash that like button if you're excited to get started. Today what we're going to do is we're going to talk to you about how to create little tools, WAAS, which is website as a service. This is something that I've been doing for a long time. I haven't really talked about it that much, but I have talked about it a little bit. Now that we have AI, I think it has absolutely changed the game on this. Now, before we get started, I want you to know that this method has made me millions of dollars. However, the vast majority of people trying to make money online make nothing. That means people watching this video, most people make nothing. Very important to look at because this is a business, and we're going to talk about it like a business so that you can understand exactly what to do. Because one of my pet peeves in the internet marketing guru world is the fact that a lot of people teach you startup ideas and ideas for businesses based on things they've done after gaining millions of dollars and having large followings, and they're teaching you what they're doing now, not what they did to get started. And I've actually always been an advocate for looking at what people did when they got started. Not so much like venture capital money, because how are you going to compete with that, right? We need to compete in bare bones, super easy, low skill set, low investment type things so that we can get going. And this is one of the best ways to do that. So if you're excited and you're like, I want to start a business, I need to see where to go from zero to actually scaling it, to making that first dollar, to making it work. Very, very important. Now, we're going to take a look at how this works in a real-world way, very practically, so that you can understand what's going on, why, and what you could do next. Now, first of all, I want to tell you the story of how I came across this. I actually came across it by accident back in the day when a bunch of Herbalife reps, that was a network marketing company, came to me and said, you know, we want to sell our products online. We want to be able to sell them digitally. And back then, it was a big pain. If you were an Herbalife rep, and bear with this story because it's going to make a lot of sense in a minute. When you were a Herbalife rep back in the day, you would literally have to go out there and get a merchant account. All right, that would cost, back then it was like $500 to $3,000 to get a merchant account, okay? You would also need like a credit card machine and everything, which would be part of the $3,000. Then what you'd have to do is you'd have to get orders, and you'd take them on like a piece of paper, right? This is the old school stuff. And on that piece of paper, you would go to the credit card machine and you would run the order. Same way I ran my business back in 2001 when we had a table called the money table that had our credit card machine on it. And if you guys remember, it was like those old credit card machines that was super loud and you had to manually do things. It wasn't all done online. We'd get the order online, but you'd have to run it. So what I did is I said, well, I'll bet a lot of these reps would actually like it if I took the entire Herbalife catalog, scanned it with an old school scanner, right? This is back in the old days, I'm telling you. And I scanned the entire catalog and I made it a desktop software that people could click and be like, oh, do I want, you know, protein powders? Do I want weight loss stuff? Do I want this? And I linked it to PayPal, thus getting rid of the need for them to pay $3,000 or $5,000 to have a merchant account. And because PayPal was based on an email-based string, it was like whatever email address, product, price. Then I could take the whole thing, boom, I could switch it at an instant. Now, that desktop set something off for me that made me understand marketing in a way that not a lot of people get. And it is still relevant today. I'm going to show you how. What we're going to do here, and I'll never forget it, that was the first time I made $7,000 in one night on an hour-and-a-half call talking about my new Herbalife discs. Now, what does that have to do with you? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about tools, toolbars, downloads, and softwares. This is, to date, my biggest moneymaker. There's not even a close second. I have made more with downloads, softwares, toolbars, giving them away, selling them, making membership sites, and different things like that. The problem that people have when they're trying to get into software as a service is, one, having an idea they can build, take to concept affordably, right? A lot of people can make the tool. We can make the tool with AI, but how can we market the tool? How can we get traffic to the tool? How can we make it actually work? And then how can we actually sell it? So there's a lot of moving pieces that a beginner has to go through to actually take a product to market, take a website to market, get a tool and get it out there. Now, I'm going to show you these tools here in just a minute. This is what they look like. This is one example. We're going to show you some others, and we're going to make some live here in front of you as well so you can see how it works. But first, I want to ask you the question. If you were out there with a website, and you made a website or a blog, and you had really good articles, right? Your articles were really good. It's like, here's an article about how to sell your house in a down economy. Okay, we'll just put house down, something like that. Okay, if I had a really good article, how hard would it be to get traffic to that? Well, it's a competitive market. If I go over there and I'm like, okay, you know, the competition is crazy. But what if I had a tool that no one else has that would allow them to see what the price of their house would be and what they would end up with at the end? Now we're talking something that could work, because now what we're doing is we're going into a league of our own. If I do something like value my house, you're going to see here, value my house is 71 competition. It's only 2,200 searches a month. Or I could go through and do, let's do, how much is my house worth? Okay, that's going to show us what people are searching. There's 18,000 searches a month. That's a lot of people. We could see it's 64,000 or 64 on the difficulty, which means it's very difficult. However, if I had a tool that did all of this stuff for me, like Zillow, what did Zillow do? They made a tool. And that tool is a website as a service. They sell other stuff alongside it. How many of you guys just got an aha moment understanding, oh, Zillow is a pretty simple tool. There's a lot of stuff behind it. But because of that, they got traffic. Very important, okay? So how much is my house worth calculator? Okay, this is a little bit different, and it's more specific. So now with this, if I actually had the tool, I would be in a league of my own. I can go make videos, I can make content, I can do a press release about my tool, I can do all kinds of things. So understanding that at the get-go is super important. So what we're gonna be looking at is toolbars, like these over here. There's a toolbar, or a toolbar on a browser. We're gonna be looking at downloads, which is making this downloadable. I'm gonna show you how. I'm gonna show you how to make it with AI. We're gonna talk about desktops, which are much like the Simple Sites course, which I think I can pull up for you and show you what it looks like. Again, it's very, very simple. It's not difficult to set these up. Let me see, where's my Chrome go? I had Chrome, here we go. 2020. I think it's this one. Here we go. So this is what it looks like here. And yes, it does come in a downloadable version. Actually behaves and looks like software, makes the value go up immensely. And what we did is we just put some videos, some links, stuff like this. So it's no longer a website per se, it's an actual software. Very important. This is what took me from having some simple membership site to having something that has made, I believe the Simple Sites course is made, I don't even want to guess, but I know it's over 2.5 million on that one. Now, going through and understanding how each piece works is very important because I had to make these myself. This is like back in the Herbalife days when I did that, where I was going through and looking at this, and I had to make it in Front Page 2003. Back then we used Front Page Express, which came with Windows. And going through and looking at all that stuff, we have to understand how all of this works and where the money's at. Okay, very important. We're gonna show you how to make money giving these away and selling these. Super simple. Someone says 1995 design. Bingo, that's what works. Works like crazy. If you look at Google, one of the most successful websites in all of history, very simple. Look at Amazon, very simple. Again, understanding the simplicity of these is key. A lot of people think you gotta go get some ClickFunnels and you gotta go get these expensive programs. Well, yeah, the marketers are making a lot of money selling you the expensive programs. Here, I'm gonna show you how to do all this for free and make it work. Now, of course, you will need web hosting. You can go get that wherever you want. I'll show you where I get it if you're so inclined, or you can get it anywhere. But understanding this is key. Now, we're also going to talk about search tools, much like this one. A search tool is a tool designed to help people, and it also has like an affiliate site attached to it, okay? This is like deep affiliate stuff. I use this on my tattoo site. I used it on many other websites, and it will get you traffic and sales better than anything I've ever used. The way it works is actually very simple. What you do is you take a search query, so let's say we do money, and then the tool populates all of these with the word money. So like all of this stuff here, if I click here, it's gonna do keyword spy with the word money or whatever it is I typed in. It looks like I typed in this here, right? It's a little prototype version, but you can see how it works. Very simple. It's gonna go through, it's gonna make all this stuff in a very easy way. If you understand the base of why this is important and why this is good, what we're looking at is how can we help people? Now, I'm gonna let you in on some of the things that I'm doing here. Let me see if I can get this camera sorted over there so you can see. Some of the things that I'm doing here is actually very simple. So what we're gonna do is we are taking these toolbars and we're looking at them in like a staircase way or a bridge. All right, when you have someone who wants to do something, let's say you have someone who right now, a lot of people in the economy, they want to sell their house, and the house prices are dropping, and they don't realize it. I was talking to one of my neighbors the other day. They're like, we're gonna put it up for this amount of money, and we're gonna get a realtor. And I'm like, hey, the other one down the street hasn't even sold, and it's priced less, and it's a better house, so good luck with that. A lot of people don't know the options that are available. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the options. Here's someone who has a house. They wanna sell it. What can they do? Well, option one is get a realtor, and then boom, there goes 6% of your house price vanished overnight, right? But sometimes you need that. going through and saying, okay, well, what do you need to do next? Check your loan. Is your loan assumable? Are there these other things? Check your prices in your area. Do comparison shopping. Do all of this stuff. So there's all these steps that they need to do to get where they want to go. Let's say you're here and you want to make money online. Well, step 1 would be start a website. Step 2 would be pick your niche. Step 3 would be this. And all of these would line up. This happens in every single niche. Whether you're trying to get love poems and get married, whether you're trying to buy a new car, whether you're trying to look up ways to renovate your basement, whatever it is, there are steps that are taken. This is something I learned years ago. And I believe it was Frank Kern who made it a little more popular. He talked about the results in advance method, where you go through and you look at the steps that people naturally need to take to get somewhere, you help them out with it, and you get paid in the process. Now, as affiliate marketers, we are looking to get paid in many different ways. Let's say, for example, there's a new business, and they want to find a domain name for that business. All right, there's steps they got to take. They got to go look at the keywords. They got to go look at GoDaddy. They got to look at how much it's worth, how much it'll sell for. All these things to get to this one place. This is what our tool is going to do. What we're doing is we're baking all of this into a tool rather than just a website. Now, some of the ones we're going to do so that you could see what it looks like in this market, we're going to have these process bars I'm going to show you in just a minute. A process bar is designed to help people. I think I need to go over here. That's better. The process bar is designed to help people with the things they struggle with. How many of you guys struggle with info overload? You struggle with making money online. You struggle with affiliate marketing. All of this stuff is a big struggle. It's a big blur. And you wish there was someone to just sit there by your computer and say, click this. Now do this. No. Now open that up. Okay, cool. Now put that prompt right there. And bada bang, you're ready to go. I mean, you might watch my videos, you take notes like crazy, but having that extra thing, yeah, you'd pay a little bit of money for that, wouldn't you? So what we're doing is we're putting this into the program. Domain toolbar. Here's a tool that helps you find a domain. Affiliate marketing. Here's a tool that helps you with this and understanding your offer. Content, traffic methods, video creation, step 1, step 2, step 3. Pinterest. How do I create an image? What do I title it? How do I upload it? How many should I do a day? All of these different things. SEO. Did I title it right? Did I have the keyword in the article? Is it ranking? Can I rank it better? All of these questions are going on where you're understanding the difference in the market. Now, a lot of these things are confusing, and if you feel like it's info overload and confusing, let me know as a comment below. Because what we're going to do is show you right here, right now, why this is a better option and why this will make you money. Okay, very, very important, because there's lots of things people do. Imagine if you had a little toolbar for elderly people who don't know how to use a computer as well, right? And it's like, okay, is this person calling? Is it a scam? Is it legit? Click here to find out before you give any info. Warning, here's info never to give online, right? We get all those notes from our places where it says what to do and what not to do, but a lot of people miss it. In our society, a lot of people get lost in the cracks. What we're going to do is we're going to take something very simple and we're going to make it to where there is a step-by-step where we get paid along the way. If that sounds good, let me know, smash that like button. First of all, a couple of disclaimers and warnings. 1, disclaimer, I've made a lot of money with this method. It works like crazy. It's not guaranteed, right? I've done this for a long time. I have a leg up. Most people make nothing. Warning, make sure you always follow the rules. If you're doing downloadables, make sure you check them, make sure you follow all the applicable rules and all the things like that. Also, follow the rules when you're on other sites promoting things. Now, going through this, let's go to step 1, okay? Step 1 is all about finding our niche. This is super simple. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start with traffic. I don't wanna start with something I think is gonna work. I want to start with something I know is going to work. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I asked it, give me 100 tools that I can make based on these things. One was prompt help, calculators, tools, walkthroughs. Let me ask you a question. How many of you guys use AI? I want everyone to participate here. Type AI in the box if you use AI, or if you don't, or daily, or whatever, say AI daily or weekly, however often you use it. How many of you guys would like to have a little tool that would guide you? It's like, hey, if you're a dentist, here's a tool to help you write emails to your clients with AI. If you're a dentist, here's a tool to help you get an invoice paid, or whatever it is. Very simple. So what I did is I went to ChatGPT and I asked it for this gigantic list right here of all of these. And we're going to take a look at them, because some are good, some are terrible. I'll explain why either one is good or bad in just a minute. What I want to do is I want to look at different things that are going on and think about how I can help people in a different way. Right now, again, there's a lot of stuff going on in the economy. Inflation, you got house prices, you got uncertainty, you got stock market, you got all of this stuff. And if I could go through and figure out what people want, much like we did in yesterday's video. If you guys saw yesterday's video, it was about some of the methods that I've used to get results fast. Again, not guaranteed, but they are specific. These are ones that I use over and over to make a business and make it work. That's what we're talking about here, because if you can build something small, then you can build something big. The problem is, a lot of people are starting here, and they're like, Marcus, you don't understand, bro. I just want 100 grand a year. And I'm like, well, what are you going to do to get it? No, I'm not picky. I just want 100 grand a year. So basically you want, that ain't going to work that way. What you got to do is you got to look at what you're going to do to get where you want to go. And oftentimes, what you build could exceed what you want. And by just focusing on what you want, you could be going in the wrong direction. So what I'm going to do is, instead of trying to jump up here and just have the business that makes money, I need to look at what I'm going to do here. What am I going to do now to get there? Well, let's take a look at where the traffic is. If I was to go out there and take a look at some of these, I could say, now list some that are in the news lately. Okay? And it'll list those for us. Now, I can also go through and take a look at some of these. I did this one for housing market trends. I thought this was a fun one. I thought we could build it out here live and make this work, okay? So what I'm looking at is Zillow forecast home price decline. It's the first time in quite some time that there has been a decline. I think probably at least 5 years it's been on the uptick. Now it's starting to decline, and I think Zillow's actually 1.7 decrease. I think it's already 1.7. All right, if you guys have been paying attention to the real estate market, it's probably closer to 10% right now, maybe even more. But, the news outlets got to catch up with reality there. We're seeing here, it's saying all this stuff about housing. So we see that this is something going on, right? This is in the news. It is important. It's out there. Let's go ahead and take a look at Google Trends and look at what this looks like, just to prove our concept, okay? What we want to do first is prove our concept, do most of our effort on research. That way, when we go to build a site, we've already done the research. This should work, right? It's going to do really well. So let's do house prices in Google Trends. And we could see here, house prices in Google Trends, right, like this. We can go for past year. Or let's do 5 years, okay? So over the past 5 years, we could see that this is beginning to peak again with interest. This is like, how many people are searching for this stuff? Now, 2021, yeah, a lot of people were searching. It's going to happen again. If you were to look at like the past 90 days, yeah, it is getting more and more attention. Here you got 100, you got 100 here. People know something's coming. People know house prices are not going to be what they were. They're going to fluctuate. But we also see this is evergreen. It works, right? There you go. This is something that people are always searching for. So if I had a tool that would help people with housing prices, how many of you guys think, okay, you could at least get some traffic? I don't know if I can make money yet. We'll get to that part. But let's go through and make that. All right? Zillow, I had to look that one up. There you go. Yeah, Zillow's a big company. So now we're looking at this, and we're like home affordability, inflation impact estimator. Excellent. I like that. Mortgage rate traffic. So it's actually telling me the tools that I can develop, which is great, because if I could go through and make a tool that would help people with something, boom, I'm ready to go. And what I want to think is dual desktops, toolbars, search tools, stuff like that. So let's go ahead and start. We started by saying, tell me about the housing market and different things. What are some recent news items I can make helpful tools about, like house prices, finance, inflation, whatever? We went through. We got that information. Okay, good, good, good. Then I said, what are the trends in the house? I narrowed it down into housing. Then we went through and I said, what tools could I make? Okay, cool. Now, think about a tool I can make that sits on the side of the screen and helps people find the prices of houses. What I'm thinking is, like, if they could enter their house once and then boom, all of this stuff populates and they can go check, and then there's a little box where they could put the prices of each one. There we go. There was one that I was working on earlier, I'll show you, which was a domain one. It wasn't this was the simple one. I had this one here. So this one for the domain evaluation checklist, which I actually put on a site for you guys so you could see it. All right, I did fix the error up there. I'll show you guys how to fix errors in just a minute. Let's see, where do we go? It was over here, one of these, this one. So I think it was this one here. So we'll copy that, and I'll just edit, save. I think that's the right one. Yep, save. And that should fix it. And I'll show you what this will look like. Oh, didn't want to fix it. Let's try this again. We'll get it from the Chrome here. Oh, because they have the content. Make the whole page, please. Let's see if it'll make it. Sometimes it gives you a little bit of trouble. We were using Manus earlier today, and it was like making up domains I didn't even own. It was crazy, okay? So we're starting to look at this and make it work. Now, John says he's in real estate, and he wants some traffic. Exactly. There's a lot of traffic out there. Now, you could make one of these locally for your audience. You could be like, oh, hey, here's the Florida real estate toolbar. And what you're going to see is that these are actually pretty easy to make. Here's one I made for SEO content, where they can go through and talk about their stuff and see sample content and stuff like that. Very easy to make. These are super simple. And what's going to happen is we are going to think different, because sometimes we need to look at that one thing that's going to help. Like the guy who put a drink holder in a car, everyone does now. But when he came up with that, people were like, wow, why didn't I think about that? That's simple. You literally just have a hole in the front of the car where people can put their drink. And now every car must come with those, or people get really mad. That's the kind of thing we're looking at. That was something that was very simple, but also very helpful. So now, understanding this and looking at these tools is key. So let's go through, let's see if it fixed it here. Looks like it did, I hope. I don't know, that looks like a small page, but we'll see. We'll test it out here. Some of this stuff you will have to do a little bit of trial and error with. Like, that's par for the course. You got to do that, right? It's something that just comes with the territory. Let's see here if it worked. Looks like it's given us a little trouble, but we'll upload it in just a minute. Once we have that, let's just revert back the way it was over here. Okay, so this is my original one. There we go, all the way up. Cool. So we'll do like this, and then we could probably work our way through and fix it. And I'll show you exactly what that would look like. This is going to be a hands-on training, so be ready. We're going to be going through all this stuff, showing you how it works, why it works, and everything like that. Let's see if we can get this going. There we go. Okay, 1 second. And we'll take a look even more. Okay. So now what we're looking at is the code here for the domain evaluation checklist. So let me ask you guys, would you find this helpful? Right? If you were going along and you're like, okay, I need to buy a domain name, and you don't know about domain names. A lot of my students, they buy domains like they're going out of style. And if this was sitting over here on the side of your screen, okay, and obviously we would have the image work. Let's shrink the image. I'll show you guys a little bit about code. If we were to shrink the image, max width 1200, we'd look for our logo, which is probably somewhere in here. 600. Our logo's got to be in here somewhere. I don't like CSS. It's a pain. Okay, so here we go. It's actually taking the logo from the thing. So let's go through. I don't know code, which is actually a testament to the fact that this stuff easier than ever with AI, because if I don't know code and I could do this, it'll work. So we'll do like this and say, now make this 400 by 150 or whatever. Yeah, let's just do 400 by 150. And that should fix it for us. It's going to do style sheets. I hate when it does all this like style stuff, because it might mess up our other style, but we'll see. And we'll get back to our notes in just a minute and show you exactly what these are used for. So let's see. This might div class logo container. Let's just try like that. That's my guess at it. We'll see if it fixes it there. And that was over here somewhere. Domain. No, over here. So that should fix it. There we go. Hey, I did. There we go. I am getting a little farther, and I don't know code, but I'm a little proud of myself for making AI make that smaller for me. But at any rate, we go through and we're like, okay, how many of you guys think that this would be helpful if you were looking for domains? You're like, okay, here's the example domain, affiliatedude.com. All right, it's a .com. How old is it? I think I've owned this one for like 10 years or something. You could look at the who is. It'll bring up the who is for you, show you all the stuff. You could do Estabot. It'll bring up Estabot, show you the estimate. So it's kind of like walking along with you. Now, when this is done, they're going to open in the new page. So when you click this, it'll open in the big page. So this never leaves, right? That's what we're working on here. How many of you guys think that that would be helpful? You're like, wow, okay, so if I put that in and I was like, GoDaddy says it's worth $1,200, Estabot says it's worth $500, Dynadot says it's worth, I don't know, Dynadot's always off the chart, so there you go. And then you could go through and look at your Ahrefs. It'll bring up the tool. It'll bring up all this stuff for you. How many of you guys are like, dude, this would be, like, I want this now, right? Type domain tool if you like this, and you're like, yeah, that would absolutely be helpful. If that would be helpful, it is proving the point that this stuff works. Going through and understanding, okay, I can have something very simple that's going to help people, that'll sit on the side of the computer, and now I have something attractive that people will want. Okay, this is the first thing. We got to look at the attractiveness of the tool, because now I can go and make videos about it. Hey, here's how to find your domain. Boop, doop, doop, doop. Make a video. It's very easy video because all I have to do is use it. Ricardo says, would this be a free tool? Eventually, something like this would probably be a free tool to get people into other stuff. Much like on my website, I have a GoDaddy estimator, and it's used all the time. Every time I'm on my site, there are people on that page looking at that tool. It works. It gets me traffic. It makes me money. It makes sales. Same kind of thing with this. So if we were going through and we're like, okay, here's some of these things, like maybe a sleep quality assessment tool. Now, back when I started, I didn't know how to do like cookies and saving and keeping data and databases and stuff like that. Now with AI, we can actually make a tracker. So you could be like, oh, how'd you sleep on Wednesday? Oh, I slept great. Really? What'd you have? Or what was your schedule like? And it'll go through and it'll help them with it. Or maybe you can have like a kitchen cost estimator or a trip budget planner or all of these different things. Maybe a stock screener or a loan comparison tool. Different things like that is very, very important. Now, what we're going to do is I'm going to start with free. Okay, so let's say we're going to go into this example, which is the housing one. Okay, so think about a tool I can make that sits on the side of the screen and helps people find prices of houses and figure out what they can sell for, rates and payments, ECT. And yes, I know I probably spelled ETT wrong. But at any rate, we're going to look at this. Tool name, Home Value Helper. I like it. All right, kind of like a hamburger helper, but, you know, this will actually be good for you. Going through and looking at this, tool name, Home Value Helper, sticky sidebar widget on a website, floating draggable mini window, optionally a browser extension. Okay, I'm going to not do the browser extension because I want more attention. More about that in a minute. Features, what's my house worth? Sell profit estimator, outputs, net profit, break even, mortgage calculator. This is actually helpful. How many of you guys, if you were going to sell your house, this would be something you would want? Because now you can go on the side, use this, make it work, and bada bing, you're off to the races. Let's say now make the actual tool, prototype. Okay, I'm also going to go through and I'm going to give this to Gemini, because Gemini is actually going to give us a preview, which I think will be a better experience for you guys watching here, okay? So what we're going to do, let's see if we can open a new Gemini. Bear with me one second. Gemini. All right, so here's our new Gemini, and we're going to go new chat. I'm going to paste this in. Make the tool like this, please, 400px wide. Let's see how this works. We can also go through and upload a logo. You'll notice in some of the tools that I did, I said, here's my logo. Now, when dealing with AI, you will need to have the logo online. That way it can find it. If you do it and it's not online, it's going to be kind of a pain. So now going through and looking at this is super, super important, okay? So now we're going to be taking a look at this. Let's see how ChatGPT is doing. I don't know why it always does this group stuff. So here we go. Home value, sell for profit, mortgage calculator, affordability. I like that. So let's say I wanted to have my logo on it. I would just go over to whatever my site is, let's say affiliate marketing dude or whatever, okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to get the image address, okay? Super simple. And then I'll say, now make this the logo, 400px wide, okay? Keep aspect ratio. Obviously, if I had a mortgage site, I'd put my mortgage logo. I'm just showing you this as an example. Ricardo says, how do you send traffic to that? Paid, socials, Reddit, all of the above. We're going to get into that in just a minute. This is the phase where we're actually thinking about, okay, what would this look like? How would it work? Okay? While we're waiting for these to work on the tool, I want to show you the different types. So we can have prompt helps. Imagine if you were like, hey, I figured out a way to make videos in AI. Prompt 1, 2, 3, 4. Or however it works, you could go through and have other prompts for writing, for making a press release, whatever it is, very simple, okay? Or selling your house. You need to go to the MLS. You need to go here. You need to do this. You need to do that. Very cool. You could also do walkthroughs where it's walking through. Another cool thing, I can actually have a video tutorial within this box. I can make it super small, make it very, very easy, okay? Now, going through these examples, we'll take a look at some more later. But first, what we want to do is we want to think about, if I'm giving this away free, how am I going to make money? Okay, like Zillow gives all their data for free, but they make a lot of money. How do they do that? Well, first of all, they're gigantic. They had to have venture capital. I would recommend starting small, okay? OAS says, why not as a browser extension? The reason is browser extensions can only do certain things, and they are a little bit more difficult to get in the hands of people. Like some people might have Edge, some people might have Chrome. There's different rules and stipulations on different places. What we want is ours to be self-contained, and the way that a browser extension works is there's a portion of the extension that is actually online, and there's a portion that's like embedded. So that embedded portion that's going to show up here, or let me move me, here we go. Boop. It's going to show up here. Okay, so like if you had an extension, it's going to show up here. Like I have an extension on my Chrome over here. I'll show you what it works like. Okay, and we'll show you the difference here. And I'm going to show you why I would use either one. So over here, this is my extension. It's a toolbar extension. This is all non-editable, unchangeable within the actual browser, okay? And people aren't going to remember this, right? Nobody does. You get some people that do. Most people forget. What I want is something helpful and usable where maybe like it'll open up when they start their Windows or something. Obviously, you get permission and you ask and everything like that. But that would be something where, you know, maybe I'll have a desktop icon, or maybe I'll have something else where they know to use it. We want them to use it. We don't just want it there, okay? So when we understand this, it's like, okay, having software, or what I call website as a service, right? That's pretty much what Zillow is, website as a service. Just happens to be free for most people. Understanding this, now we're like, okay, how can I do this? Now, when we look at offers on the back end, what I want to do first is say, how can I get paid without taking any payments. Like, how can I get paid as an affiliate, right? How can I get paid as a clicks? Maybe there's clicks I can deliver. How can I get paid for the audience that is using my tool? That's what I want. Because if I can do that, then I could build a list and make it work. I don't care. I'll do that all day, every day. If I could break even or make a little bit of money just giving this away, thus building an audience, game over, I win. Now I have the audience. We talked about that earlier. So going through and looking at it, what can I do with affiliate marketing? Well, with this here, let's say we have our house one, okay, and it's building it in Gemini. So here we got affiliate marketing dude, sell profit, mortgage calculator. Let's test it out. Sell. Estimated sales price, $600,000. Remaining mortgage balance, $100,000. Agent fees, 6%. Repair costs, $10,000. All right, what's my estimated profit? Boom. Really cool. Now, as we go through, I can even have Gemini add to it and say, well, you know, maybe put other fees, maybe put this other stuff in there. And we can go through and build this out and make it really cool and really easy so people can use it, okay? Also, the ability to have links and stuff like that. Now, what would be some good affiliate offers I can put in this tool? Okay, like what is my home worth? Okay, maybe there's one for like selling, like this Premier Agent. Okay, maybe I could do that. If they have an affiliate program for that, that would be pretty cool. Now, let's see, how do we get back to the tool? Show the tool again, I think. Let's see if it does that. There we go, right? So I could go through and I can embed these in. And on mortgage loan leads, I get paid $100 for some of those. On real estate leads, where people fill out real estate forms to get a realtor, you make money on those. If I was doing a domain one, I might do web hosting or even get them over to GoDaddy or Namecheap as an affiliate. One of the keys to making this work is you're able to pass stuff along. Right, so like if I have a domain tool, which I don't remember where my domain toolbar was. I used to have it on domain toolbar, but we haven't used it in a while. It was a tool that you would put the domain in, and then it would check it everywhere. So it'd check it Dynadot, it'd check it on the appraisals, it would check if it's available, and then it would go through and it would use an affiliate link to take you to the page where you could buy that specific domain. Okay, that's much like what Spamzilla does, where you click it, they have their affiliate link, and you're going there already pre-populated, which is important. Obviously, make sure the offer allows it. Obviously, make sure you're just using non-sensitive data and stuff like that. Make sure it's very on the up and up. We're just making very simple tools, much like the one I did with the tattoo website, where they were able to search for tattoos and be like, oh, I want a butterfly one. And then they go to the page and it would have the sales page for the butterfly tattoo, making the conversion much higher. Much like this, where you're going through and you have like the different links and things like that. So going through, looking at this, I can do affiliate marketing. I can do a direct sale where I'm like, okay, maybe I make this tool and I have a service where I will price their house for them for $25. Right? That'd be easy. I could do some of those and make that work. Or I could do a membership where I could do, okay, sign up for the membership and we have our, how to make money in real estate class or how to sell your house in a down economy class or whatever it is, okay? Very, very cool. And a lot of times what you can do with these is you can actually have it to where they need to log in to get access to certain things. Those are very easy to do. It's very inexpensive. Again, what we want to talk about is a tool that we can use that gets us into the market inexpensively so we could test it, build the list, and then get other things. Because if I have 10,000 people using my house prices toolbar and I make them opt in to get it, right? So put your name and email to get the toolbar. That's a lot easier than put your name and email to get my report, right? A lot of people like toolbars rather than reports. I can make a guide. Like I could go out there and say, hey, make a guide about how to buy the right domain. Okay, that's not as valuable as the tool. That's why this works. Having that tool is going to set you in a different league. You can also do sales calls where you're like emails, calls, whatever, to make that work, okay? Now, let's go through and let's look at the visual. We already started doing this with Gemini where you can see what these look like, right? This is one where I did the domain evaluation tool. And it was like, okay, put your domain in here, whatever, okay? And then you can check the price on GoDaddy. It's going to bring it up with that info in it, see how it passes that? Really cool, right? And that did that automatically without me really having to do anything. It just came up with it on its own, which made it very, very simple. Okay, obviously make sure the site allows it. Some do, some don't. You always want to follow the rules. You can also check like Wayback Machine. This will go through, and it'll check Wayback Machine for that. It'll check all the name stuff. It even goes through, I think one of them we were doing actually checked like trademarks and stuff. This will check SimilarWeb, and notice how it is actually carrying that variable over to it, which is cool. And it's got like a clear button and things like that. So now this is something that can work really good, where maybe you could say, now add a big button on the bottom where they can get web hosting and a free domain. A lot of web hosting companies offer a free domain. So if they're like, oh, I could get this free and I'm going to need web hosting anyway, that kind of fits, right? How many of you guys are like, yeah, that fits, that makes sense. That's better than like, oh my gosh, check this out, this is better than other hosts, or whatever. This is putting you apart from the competition, and it's getting you in something that you can start very quickly and make it work. Again, very simple, very basic tools. We don't need to do crazy stuff. We're just making something helpful like a calculator or whatever. R says, I use my websites for direct sales of software, digital products I have created. Fantastic. These tools can lead into it. What you want to do is think about what kind of tools would get people to what I want. So if I'm promoting web hosting, okay, and I do this all the time, I've made a lot of money promoting web hosting. When we look at this, what are things people would want that would help them with web hosting? And they would need web hosting, right? Finding a domain, setting up a website for a church, whatever it is, we can make little tools. And if you nail it, these are the kind of things where one of these little tools could produce a decent amount if done correctly. Again, it's not guaranteed or anything, but this is how business works. Now, starting to understand, okay, yeah, this tool could work really good. So it says, I've added the new section. Please make the button and link to affiliate marketingdude.com/host. I think that's where I have it. There we go. And that'll go through and it'll put that button there, and that button will get me paid. Obviously, I'm going to make sure they know I'm an affiliate, so I'll have a little affiliate disclaimer down there. Very simple, okay? So now we're going through, we're taking a look at what this looks like. Taking a look at, okay, how did ChatGPT do? Now I'll make the actual prototype. I don't know if ChatGPT is going to give us an example. We might have to download it first, which is cool. We can do that. And the cool thing about this is you can have multiple pages on it. And what we're doing is we're opening them. Notice how this behaves different than all of these tabs, right? Same kind of thing when we're doing in Chrome. It's really cool. In Chrome, you can go through, I think I have, let's see, SS. This one here. So in Chrome, what happens is you have it like this, right? And then when they click these, we have a code on there that opens it in the sidebar, and it behaves different than regular. So it's like its own little tool, right? There you go, pretty cool. And then you have like a niche one here for niche profit finder. Boom. Super simple, right? And it'll generate a report, downloads it right there. Really cool. So looking at this, you're like, oh, wow, okay, this is something that we can use. And you might have seen me use these in recent videos, and they work really, really, really well. Some others that we made, I'll show you in just a little bit. So you can see here, this is what the one in ChatGPT looks like. It's only giving you the code. You can click preview. So it looks like that. Home value helper, net profit, calculate payment. So I think, yeah, definitely Gemini knocked it out of the park way better on our home value one, which is over here somewhere. Where do we go? Home value. Maybe is this one? That's not it. It was over there somewhere. And using that, you know, you could go through and just build it out. But it looked pretty good with our house one. Here it is. This one, right? So going through here, looking at this is pretty cool. Does the tool work in mobile? That's the beauty of it. It's web-based, so yes, it does. Is it going to behave the same way? No, this is primarily for desktop. However, you can do mobile ones. I did one for my sobriety site, and I'll show you what it looks like here. Let's see where to go. Yeah, so the sobriety one, you just put your name, and then you put like your sobriety date. And then, let's see. There we go. So it looks like this. Put your name and your sobriety date. Put your first name, G, last, your sobriety date would be whatever. We'll just set, calculate, and then it'll come up with that. And one of the things I did on this one is it has a little confetti saying, hey, you've been sober. And then it also has a cookie tracker. So it'll track, okay, as long as they don't click the relapse button, it's going to keep that in there and keep track of their sobriety, which is cool. And you could do this for anything. You can make a meal planner toolbar. You can make whatever you want. Very simple. And using AI is a game changer because now we can do these in a better way. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the visual of what we would want it to look like. How is it going to help? Okay? How is it going to help them? Like this one here could have like trigger words or whatever. Or if you wanted to do one simple without codes or anything, I could go through, I could do a new chat, and I could say, what are 6 prompts I can use one after another to turn content into a sales letter? Please list all 6. This will go through and it'll do this. Now, you're going to want to do more work on this, obviously. I'm showing you the basic, easy way. But if you were going to do these 6 prompts, think about it this way. The guy's over here in Gemini or ChatGPT. He's got the outline. It says prompt 1. Okay, enter this here. And then you go back. Okay, now enter prompt 2. And what it'll do is it'll walk them through the whole thing. Let's get out of the deep research. We're going to go, let's go to Flash. That'll work. Right, like this, okay? So now we have what are 6 prompts I can use. Identify the core problem solution, define your ideal customer, get a good headline, build desire, establish credibility, create a call to action. Cool. Now, at the top, have where they can describe their niche or product, okay? Super simple. So watch how easy this is. I want to show you how specific this is, okay? R says I have ChatGPT, X, Grok, and Gemini, all paid versions. Between the 3, it's easy to get code working. I think Gemini, like out of the box, it should work pretty good. It's a really good coder. Of course, there's always going to be tweaks and things you got to do. I have a programmer that helps me with it. Like he's the one that makes all these. But you know, teach his own. It is not super expensive to have them, and you can do that on a case-by-case basis. So let's say we have this here. Before we begin transforming your content, blah, blah, blah. Now turn this into a 400px wide tool for the side of their screen to enter the prompts and have a checklist for a good sales letter, like step 1, instructions, prompt, checklist, 2, 3, then on submit, it gives a report or something like that, okay? Let's see how this works. Hopefully it'll do it. It should do it in PHP or something like that, so here we go. Can't directly create that. Okay, so we're going to have to go to a different version, right, like this. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, it said it couldn't, but now it is. So we'll go through like this. The title, tool generator, good. So it's doing okay. Let's try with Pro, okay? And we're going to turn deep research off, and we're going to turn Canvas on. Please make this visual stunning. Now watch, we're going to go through and add more to it, okay? This is the key, making it really, really good. Like, could I link to places where they can learn about sales letters? Could I link to videos that talk about sales letters, preferably my videos if I have them, or a video you can make? Different things like that, where we want this to be the most helpful thing ever. How many of you guys would use this if I was like, oh, hey, here's this sales letter tool that will help you with it? Credit and shout out to Marlon Sanders. Years ago, he came up with this sales letter software that I bought for like $97, and I loved it. I liked the software more than I liked what it actually did, just because because I was like, hey, this is pretty cool. And I'm going to show you how to turn these into actual software in just a minute. Matt says, this would go amazing with the pay-per-click on Facebook. Yeah, absolutely. Like going through and getting this audience. Check this out, like sales letter generator. Describe your niche product. Okay. Let's see if it actually, I think it's actually generating the prompts. It actually went a step further. So describe our niche product. Simple sites, big profits, course that helps you learn affiliate marketing. All right, problem solution. Info overload, too much stuff that doesn't work. Define ideal customer. Someone struggling to learn to make money online. Craft headline and hook. Okay, so let's go through. I'm going to click this and see what happens. Okay, so it gives us the framework here with a assessment. Let's do this. Now have parts that pop up to copy and paste a prompt in AI for help. Watch this. This is going to make something where I could literally use this in just a minute, okay? I used a bunch of Marlon stuff. Yeah, Marlon is pretty cool. I haven't talked to him in years, but every time I go to a marketing meeting and he's there, I hang out with him. He's a great guy. Fun guy to hang out with. All right, so here we have this. It's fun programming my company. Just hit 30 years online, still getting ideas. Yeah, no problem. Glad you liked the videos. All right, so we're going to go through and take a look at what this would look like. And then you can see the value helpers here is decent. It was nice that it had that preview. That's kind of cool. It is left justifying it, which that's okay. We could do that. And there's all kinds of cool stuff you can do, like framing and all kinds of neat things. Just make sure that the pages do allow it. I found that Claude is actually pretty good at this stuff as well. This is the one that made this checklist. And again, all of these links could be affiliate links, right? Just make sure you disclose it. But I mean, if they're using your tool and you have affiliate links, that's one of the best ways to get commissions that I've seen. Obviously, do it ethically. We saw all the conundrum that the Honey app got into. I got some videos on that, which was funny because I saw that like 5 years ago, and then it went crazy earlier this year. But looking at that and understanding what they're doing, what they did right, what they did wrong, and understanding what is good and ethical, having links like this, obviously you're disclosing it. That's very key. They're using the link within your tool, so you know. That's pretty solid. And you are giving them value. I know with the Honey app, one of the things I had problems with was a toolbar that was supposed to find the coupon didn't actually work, or it found you a more expensive one or something like that. I don't know. Go watch the other stuff. But looking at this, yeah, I could be an affiliate for GoDaddy or Estibot or whatever it is and have those links in here, and thus it's going to be showing over and over and over again. So instead of getting a click, the guy's like, oh, I don't want to get it now. Bye. And they leave. Now you have something you're going to use over and over and over again. Maybe you could have one that helps them do emails or something like that. Okay? So here's our sales letter generator. It did create the little prompt. Nice. I like this. This is, how many of you guys are like, dude, this is coming along pretty cool. So now I could go through and let's say I have ChatGPT here. We'll do a new chat. And I'll say, okay, briefly describe your niche, product, or service. Let's see if it adds to it. Simple sites, big profits. Marcus Campbell or whatever, okay? Describe. Okay, so we would have to add that. Have it add the stuff in the box to the prompt. Let's see if it'll do that. That would be cool. And see how we're just kind of walking through it? Like, I didn't know what this was going to be like. I'm walking it through, letting AI help me, using my own brain of what would help me. If I was the consumer of this, what would actually help me? Okay, so now we're going to do this. Copy prompt, already entered. Good. So it's going to add some Java. And let's see what we got here. And while we're waiting on that, we are now in the implementing phase. Now, in order to do these properly, you would need web hosting. Okay, now can you have them standalone? Yes and no. I mean, could you embed a front of software in its own without a website? You could do that. You'd have to have some kind of way to track your affiliate links. The best way to do it is get your own website. You can go to gohubsite.com, get web hosting there, and you'll set it up. Basically what it's doing is it's going to be like a file like this where you'll have all your files and you can edit them, right? And there you go, which is cool. So like on Domain Toolbar, you could see what that looks like there. Over here somewhere, let me open that up over here. Okay, let's see. Domain Toolbar. Okay, so over here, this is what that would look like. Very simple. It's just files on the computer, and you can have as many as you want, right? So like that. You can have AI edit this out. It's probably pretty easy to edit out. Or you can have multiple. So like on ours, you might have seen in my videos, we use toolbars like this, which is very simple, okay? And they work really good in a small setting like this, right, where it's on the side. And again, you can make those pop up. It's actually easy. I made AI do that. I don't know how to do it. AI did it, which is really cool. So now going through and looking at this, we're like, okay, here's all of our different stuff. Here's all our different files. Very easy. Again, having a website, uploading them is going to be key. I have other videos that talk to you about how to do that as well. Now, we're going to go through and we're going to look at the process and we're going to use what's there already. What are things that I can use that would help people, right? If they can go search at Zillow and find the price of their house, well, then I can use that. Right? Or maybe I can go through and look at something else and say, okay, well, here's this other tool they can use. What we're doing is we're organizing things in a very step-by-step way that makes the process easy. Rather than reading a long blog post that's like step 1, step 2, what we're doing is we're like, just use this tool. So like, if you were to go and read a blog post on how to write a sales letter, it's going to be huge. It's going to be crazy. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to go through and we're going to be like, okay, describe it. Simple sites, big profits. And watch how easy this is. Boom. Nice. So it is having trouble with that. Let's see. It still says, okay, do we have to hit submit? Copy prompt. All right, whatever. Let's see. It still says niche input, not the actual input. Let's see how this does. Okay. And we wait. All right, here we go. So while we're waiting on that, some advanced tips you can do. I have used these many times, and it works amazingly. You can use a program called Smart Install Maker, which I think I have open over here. This one here. Smart Install Maker will actually allow you to turn a file like this, which is basically a shortcut, into an installable thing, which is cool. So now it's like, oh, it's like its own little installable desktop, which is really cool. And you can have all your files in there and all your stuff, and it'll make like a package, which is great. I can actually package these. And one of the cool things about this is when it's packaged, it will open it in this size, right? That's the important part. We want it to open this way. That way it's not just another web page. There's tons of web pages they could look at. We want something that's going to guide them and help them, okay? Another thing we can do if you want to actually make your own like brandable package deal, we can use a tool like HTML executable. This is one I've used many times before. I think it's a little on the pricey side. I think it's like $300 or something, but I've used it many times before. I've probably bought it like a few times. And what this does is it allows you to make your own embedded HTML app, which is amazingly cool. So all I would need to do is make the tool in HTML, right, like this, right? That's what AI is going to do for us, right here. Okay, let's see if it did it. Simple sites. Boop. Nah, it's having trouble with it. But at any rate, they could go through and copy the prompt and say, okay, simple sites, big profits or whatever. And then what they can do is they could use this alongside and get that info, right? And they have the prompts and everything. Do you guys see how this is easier? Type easy if you guys get it, right? What we're doing is we're making something people would want. We're making things that people would actually use, actually consume. Instead of just passive blog posts, which are fine, what we're going to do is we're going to make something that goes the next step and has other stuff in it. A lot of times you can do this and make it more visual, where you could go through and say, let's do Claude. Let's say make a visual toolbar 400 px wide with icons for people wanting to start a website. Steps they would take. Okay? Boom. So we'll do like this, and it'll actually come up with like little icons and stuff like that, and it'll make a very cool toolbar they can use. And you can use this for anything. People that want to start a travel blog, what are things they need to know? People that want to start a regular blog, a church blog, or whatever it is, right? You can make this for anything, and you'll see what this is going to look like in just a minute, because these actually come out very visually stunning, which is cool. And all we're doing is taking content that we would probably write about and making it interactive, right? It's like the difference between a blog post versus a video. Video is going to get you much better conversion because it has different modalities to it. So now we have domain, hosting, design, content, launch. Cool. Now a title, and make it vertical rather than horizontal. Okay? Then I can say, okay, now put my logo, let's say we want the AI Profit Scoop 1. Okay. Now put my logo at the top, same sizing as the icons. And let's see what comes up here. And then we can even do like, what are some prompts we could do to find the right domain? I want to find a domain for my business. Please come up with 10 prompts that would help me find a good one. And also some links to places I can see if they are available. Okay? And having those links that are available, like if I use my GoDaddy link and it says, oh, hey, is this available? Yes, it is. I can have my affiliate link do that. Again, make sure the affiliate company is okay with that. Some are not. So now we have brand, niche, keyword, pay point solution, 2-word combinations. Watch how easy we can turn this into a tool. And then I could say, open the domain toolbar to find your domain. Bonus, you might also want web hosting or something like that. So now we have this here. It came up with the links, which is great. And watch this. I can even say, now link to the pages that I would find the domain at. And I could do like, I don't know, let's say we do GoDaddy.com and we do a search. I'll show you what this looks like. Well, there we go. Okay. Why does it want to log me in? I don't want to do that. We'll do Namecheap. Namecheap. All right, so Namecheap will go through. Let's say I wanted to search for this domain here, and I'll say at, like, where the domain would be this. And it'll actually find the links for me, which is really cool. Now, going through like this, we could start to put together our tool and say, okay, let's go over to Gemini. Let's open a new one. We'll just use this. We got the home one here. So let's say we wanted to go in Gemini, and we do new, boom. Turn this into a prompt tool to find the right domain name, AI, 400px wide, like a toolbar. Okay, let's see what this comes up with. And how many of you guys are getting this? Is this making sense to you where it's like, okay, yeah, we can go through and build something that's helpful, whether it's a calculator or whatever. So this could have like a drop down if they're okay with .com or .net or .org, find domain button where they can search, locating, results areas, dynamic. Okay, cool. So that would be a dynamic one. That's probably going to get into more coding than most people would want to do, so I'll leave that out. But then going through and looking at it, it's like, okay, how can we make a tool? Maybe we can go through and take a look at other words that we can use, and then ask ourselves, what can I add or make better? What can I add or make better to the process that are already out there? If I'm doing a how much is my house worth calculator, how can I make this the best possible? If I do a new chat and say, how much is my worth calculator, let's make a super detailed tool where they can check Redfin, Zillow, and more, and come up with a number based on comps in their area. Have tips and guides along the way. And this will go through and it'll actually embed the calculator in the content, which is going to be really cool. And then it's like, just go to my site and use the tools. And what does your site have? Well, what I would do is I would make it very simple. So it'd be like, let's see here, affiliate marketing dude. So it'd be like affiliate marketing dude. It would have the opt-in, and then the next page would be all the icons. Does that make sense? Does a website need API for the prompt to be executed? No, you're gonna. It's a sidebar. This is like just a flat tool. Doesn't do anything. It might calculate, right? Like the ones that I have, like the money-making method calculator. This does actually process this, but it's not going through AI or anything. All this is giving me the step-by-step so that I can do it, right? So it's kind of like a passive tool. Does that make sense? Like a calculator or something like that, or a prompt list, something very simple, right? Much like my trigger word list, where we go through and we have different words that trigger other keywords that work really well, okay? Very simple, very basic. So going through here, if we say, what can we add for this guide? Now make the tool HTML 400 px wide. And the reason I'm doing the 400 px wide is because that's pretty much what this is, right? So again, very simple. Like this one here, noticing like a lot of people don't understand, oh, hey, remember to check the Google competition, the pay-per-click, the Google Trends, the domain names, this, that, and the other. A lot of people don't remember that, right? Or if you're selling your house, a lot of people don't remember, oh, Redfin, this, that, and the other. So this is guiding them through it, showing them what's going on. Or you can even say, maybe I can have it search where it'll only search houses in a certain area, right? Very simple. And starting to understand that is absolutely key. Okay? How does Zillow work? So it's a pass-through. So what you're doing is like this, okay? So see how this here takes you to a page for the SPY foo with the query there, right? So if I put money, boom. Does that make sense? And AI will help you with all that. Just make sure that the site you're using allows, which a lot of them do, some don't. Read their terms, everything like that. And starting to understand, okay, yeah, I can make tools that would work really good. Maybe something over here where I can, search resell products or whatever. What it's going to do is basic. Now, what I would say for most people, start with something basic. Make a calculator, a tool, a reminder. You don't have to get deep into other stuff. Just go through and make something like a tool like this, right? Something that'll just prompt them. Or maybe something over here that'll evaluate their domain. Right, and then these, you just have the little link. Like, okay, check it out on GoDaddy. That'll take them to the GoDaddy page. They can appraise their domain. Estibot. These are just button links, right? Very simple, very easy. And what's going to happen is they're just going to use this and be like, oh, cool. This is making it so much easier for me to be able to check the domain and see what's good and what's not. Does that make sense to everyone? Let me know. Smash that like button. And going through and looking at all of this and saying, okay, maybe I can make something like this. Okay, let's do logo at the top. Let's see if we can put our logo at the top there. We'll just put this one. So we'll copy image link. Where do we go? There we go. And this will actually put the link up there, which is cool. And then, of course, you can have your link to your hosting and stuff like that. But what it's going to do is it's going to guide them through the steps in a way that, printing out a blog post and going through it kind of falls flat. Right? This is like a guide alongside what they're doing, which is great. And then I can go through, add things, make it better. If I can add different search capabilities, if later I can add capabilities for AIs or APIs or whatever, absolutely, but only after. See, what most people do is they get ahead of themselves and they try to make the next giant app right out of the get-go. And that's why it's not going to work, because you're trying to do this giant thing that it's going to take money, it's going to take effort, it's going to take all this stuff. Whereas now, what we're going to do is we're going to be like, okay, let's just start small. Let's see if we can get people to use it. Because if I can make a tool, let's say I make a sales letter tool like this, okay? Let's just make it super easy. I got a sales letter tool. Here it is. Boom, I embed it, I make the tool like this, we're ready to go. Now, instead of, please come to my blog from Google and look at my post about sales letters, no, now I can go out there and say, hey, check it out. What are 10 tips for sales letters? What are 10 tips for sales letters? I could post this on Facebook and be like, click here to use the sales letter generator. Boom. If you have ChatGPT, you can make sales letters. Click here to use it. I can make a video showing how I use it, showing what goes on. I can make 10 videos about each of these, anticipating objections. Here's how it works. By the way, did you know that my tool will help you do this? Okay? It's content structured differently. It's going out there and making something that's going to be helpful for people, that's going to get them what they want. And understanding, how do we help them with what they're struggling with, right? You're going to write a sales letter. There's a lot of things to remember. I've been doing this 25 years. I don't remember all of them. So I certainly wouldn't expect someone who's writing their first sales letter to do it. Or maybe when you're building an app with AI, maybe I could go through and say, what would be the tips to building an app, right? So go through, what would be the step-by-step when building an app or tool with AI, right? And go through and be like, oh, get your web hosting, get this, put it up here, test this, make sure it works. Very simple. And then we can go through, put that in the tool, and make it work for them. Then we can go through and use the installers and things like that and make it work in a good way. Obviously making good stuff that's going to help them. Obviously having our disclaimers and disclosures and everything everywhere and going through it. But here, see like this, they could go through, they put their domain, it'll check it. They have the Wayback Machine, all this other stuff, and then it'll go through and our bottom button would get them into hosting or whatever it is. And I think we're just supposed to add it there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, so it's on the bottom, get web hosting and free domain. Turn the text about hosting into a button. And then it'll turn it into a button. But going through and using this very passively is easy. Now, you could go later and use APIs if you wanted to, like if you wanted to go and get APIs from other places. Sometimes you have to pay for them, which is why most people, I very much recommend start small. Like if you can't make one of these small and make it good, then I think you need to reevaluate what you know about your niche, because you should be able to make something good and simple. That's what people want. They want simple. They don't want crazy, crazy stuff. Like if you've ever tried to advertise on Facebook, you know that Facebook is one of the most confusing platforms on planet Earth. I mean, you need 10 PhDs just to log in. As a joke. It's crazy, though. It's very difficult. So what if you had a tool that was like, here's all the links you need for advertising on Facebook? I would love that. I would get that. I had a friend who made a tool. She made millions on it. Disclaimer, most people make nothing. Vast majority make nothing. She did really well. She hustled. She was in it to win it. I taught her how to make these tools back in like 2018 or 2019. And she just took off like crazy. You could see my interview with her here on YouTube. It's on her channel, I think. And she made these tools. She made one that basically would allow you to, something with Facebook groups, right? It helped you with Facebook groups and things like that so that you can make money off a Facebook group. And she did really well with it. And understanding, hey, that was pretty simple. It wasn't some crazy thing. I think she got it programmed for like less than $1,000. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was definitely less than 5,000. I'm pretty sure it was less than 1,000 though. And that was before AI. Now with AI, we can do all kinds of different things, and they work like crazy, much like my GoDaddy tool. People use that all the time. Now for that, I pay for an API. It costs me $3 a day to have that, about $1,000 a year. But it's worth it because of the other stuff. But start small. If you don't have the means to use an API, you don't know how to use an API, or you don't know how to use fancy stuff, make a simple checklist. Hey, here's a checklist, right? And you will see people look up checklist all the time. Like, there you go, tons of stuff. Here's one for moving checklist. All right, cool. You would go through and be like, okay, let's make a moving checklist toolbar with calculators and estimates. Really good, helpful tool, icons, visual. Let's see if it gets it here. So doing that, we can make it work where we're like, okay, 8 weeks out, 4 to 6 weeks out. And these are things that, like, you know, when I go somewhere, I throw a thing in a box, and I go travel, and I'm like, oh, I forgot everything. My wife, she's got like a list. She's like, oh, did I get the glasses, the contacts, the this? And she knows everything we're supposed to get. A lot of people are like that. This would be helpful for a lot of people. So now looking at this, what can we do? Well, if they have a moving checklist, maybe I can get them into moving company stuff. Maybe I can do an affiliate offer for the new cable company they're going to get, or the new insurance or mortgages or whatever it is. And those pay a lot. Now, make the visual toolbar page. Let's see how this looks. And we wait and wait. And how many of you guys are seeing the possibilities that are here? Oh, look at this. That's pretty cool. Make it skyscraper style. Let's see. So it did pretty decent planning and preparation. Something there. So did it an image. I want it to be a page. Make it a HTML page. That's cool. I like this. So what I'm seeing here, this would be a toolbar, but it would have like 4 sections, right? So I'd click, let's go to packing, click, next go to this, on and on we go. Now make an HTML page where this would be several. Let's make the home page. How many of you guys are seeing the vision? Type "got the vision" if you get it. And this is something where, like, you don't need a gigantic website or gigantic blog to make it work. You're just making a tool, then you go out there and promote the tool. And you promote it like crazy, right? Really cool. Let's see here. Okay, so Move Assist, your stress-free moving companion. Cool. Simplify your move, get started. Planning and documentation, number of rooms. This is pretty solid. Right, there you go. There's your tip. I always wonder how much you tip movers. Like, how much you tip them? I don't know. So this will go through and it'll help them. Now, all one row, one column with calculators and tools. Let's see how this does. Okay, and if you guys got the vision, smash that like button, let me know. It's about thinking about content and helpful stuff differently. What can we offer people that would actually help them? How can we go through and think about it in a different way and make it more interactive? Making it interactive is what's going to be the difference between, hey, look at me, I have a blog, which is cool. You can make some money with a blog. We do it all the time. But this is something where it's faster, it's quicker, it's easier to understand because it's like, okay, I'm just making this tool. Now all I got to do is get a bunch of people to this tool and have my affiliate offers and stuff like that. Or maybe you can have, like, you know, get a moving consultation or something, whatever it is that you can have. Very simple. So understanding how to make these is key. We'll have some notes and stuff over at downloadmynotes.com. We'll have some prompts that I use. We'll have some tips on how to upload. It's actually pretty easy. We're just editing files. Very simple. And we'll show you how to make these, which is really cool. And if you can think about your niche in a different way and add something that would add value in a cool way. And I think this is the best way of understanding how to add value, because a lot of people are like, well, how do I add value? Well, this is how. Make a valuable tool that they will use. Make something like this that they will want to use over and over and over again. And as you see in the Simple Sites course, we're actually making a bunch of these. I think I had it, where'd it go? Over here. You can see behind me the list of the ones we're making over there. There it is. Domains, affiliates, content, like how do you write content? How do you make tools? Different stuff like that to really think about how to serve your niche. Because what this is about at the end of the day is getting your market something that's more valuable. Going through using your website as a service to people rather than just a storage hub for content. Going out there, instead of thinking of software as a service where, oh my gosh, now I got to compete with Russell Brunson or these other people, and saying, well, what are the steps people have? What do they struggle with? Can I intersect them? Because if I can intersect them and say, oh, here's a tool that's going to help you with this. By the way, ClickFunnels will help you more. I can get an affiliate commission for selling it, and I didn't have to make ClickFunnels. I just made this stupid little thing. And I know lots of people. One of my friends made over $1 million promoting ClickFunnels. Again, most people I teach make nothing. He did really well. I didn't teach him. He's just a friend of mine. But going through, he made $1 million as an affiliate for ClickFunnels. What if you could go through and dissect your niche and make things that would help them? What are the steps to selling online with drop shipping or Shopify or whatever? Shopify has an affiliate program that pays like $300 a sign up with Shopify. Okay? Maybe I can make one about, like, this is the drop shipping tool thing, right? How do people find these? You're going to promote them, make videos, get a Facebook group, generate a group that's talking about different things like that. Like if you made one for AI prompts, there are tons of groups that are talking about AI prompts. Share a bunch of prompts. And they're like, hey, where'd you get those? Well, I got them from my tool. There you go. That's all you do. Very, very simple. Okay? What are let's see. I'm solely pro. Okay, we'll go to a different one here. Let's try experimental. We'll try Flash. And we'll do Canvas. And then we could go through and say, okay, well, here's the Shopify dropshipping finder tool or whatever. Just built out a DM objection bot that answers objections that your prospects might have. That's a perfect one, right? Like you want to think about it this way. And one of the things that I looked at, a company that uses these is Google. Google has a bunch of people that go through and evaluate websites. And they have a checklist that they go through and evaluate the websites. You want to think about, okay, they have the checklist there. What if they had this and they were like, oh, website 1, good, bad, good, too much AI, submit. Simple, right? What if you had something that just made this stuff super simple and made their job easy? My job is to make a tool that makes your life easier. That's where you get paid. Now, let's make a drop shipping niche finding tool where they enter their interests, products they like, and more, and it spits out a prompt and also has a list of the top products and places to source them. All in, let's say, sport. Let's do all, I don't know, let's just do that. Okay? So it'll go through and it'll make a dropshipping niche finder, and it'll have the tool so they can go get the prompt and get the stuff. Something very cool. Are tools useful on phones? It can be, yeah. I mean, is that where my ideal person would be? Probably not. Would it work on a phone? It can. I mean, the tool is just a website. That's why it's called WAAS, Website as a Service. So can it work? Yeah, anywhere that has the internet, it can work. I mean, you can put it on your TV if you want to. Is it best used on your TV? No, this is best used for desktop users, which I think will convert better. Can you make one for phones? You could, because an app is nothing more than a website. Like, that's why in the beginning of this video, I talked about Netflix. Like, if you've ever been on Netflix and it has that error and you see the big URL, that's because all Netflix is a website. That's all it is. It's an embedded website in an app. The app is literally like the tiniest thing in the world, and everything is run on the website. Same with Hulu and all the others. It's all ran off websites, and what we're doing is making stuff that would work. So if we do interests, magic, tricks, entertainment, let's do, I don't know, yoga, money makers, or whatever, right? This will go through and it'll generate the ideas and the prompt. That's a pretty cool tool. And then it's got the sources. That's where I'd put the link to the course or Shopify or whatever it is, right? Super simple, super cool. Bada bing, bada boom, we're ready to go. And this will actually go through and generate it, right? Like the ones that we have that make the report, these are really cool because it'll go through and you're like, what's the tool? Gemini, what does it do? Code, description, and then you can evaluate. I use these all the time, and what you guys aren't seeing is when I make the videos, I get a blog post automatically because it's doing this and spitting out that money-making report. Boom, there it is. Here's our report. Now I just go to AI, copy this, turn it into a blog post, done deal, ready to go. Very, very important. And looking at that is super, super cool. Now, we can use Smart Install, browser tools, HTML, exe, a member if you want to take payments, pretty easy to do that, but start small. Start with something easy. If you want to do this, like a lot of people have asked, or 3 people have asked, about phone stuff, think about one you can use on a phone, right? Maybe it pops up when you get a call, and it's like, is this call legit or not, or whatever. Think of an app you can make, something like that. Now that we have AI, the sky is really the limit, and we can create all kinds of cool stuff. Understanding that is key, or maybe you have something that pops up to tell people to stop looking at Instagram so much, or stop looking at social media so much, or whatever it is. Thinking about your market differently, thinking about how can I make something quick that helps them. That's the key. If I nail that, I'm ready to go. So thanks for watching. Check out downloadmynotes.com for the notes. I have some other videos in the description that will talk about how we build these out, how we create them, and everything like that. Awesome stuff. Have fun, make some money, and I'll see you in the next training.